acronym that, like many government agency names, is a little intimidating. It stands for Genetically Modified Organism, which contains no words under 3 syllables and sounds very technical. If we're splitting hairs, many things are genetically modified organisms, created by many generations of selective breeding. However, to prevent confusion, GMO only refers to organisms with genes that can't be achieved by selective breeding without taking random mutations into account. Things like tomatoes with fish genes to help them survive winter and bacteria with jellyfish genes that produce colorful glowing proteins are all GMO. What do GMOs do? They serve many functions. The first GMO to be FDA approved was bacteria that produce human insulin, an invention that improves millions of people's lives. Some of the best known GMOs are Roundup-ready crops, which cannot be killed by the common weed killer Roundup. Another common modification is to have a crop produce Bt toxin, which kills insect larvae with such a high degree of specificity that only certain species of insects are harmed. Mice can eat massive quantities of Bt toxin without any short or long-term damage, but it kills many insects that are responsible for killing crops. Other GMOs being tested include wheat that causes fewer allergies, pineapples that produce lycopene, and crops that can grow in salty soil. All these innovations are made in one of 2 ways. Some of the earliest genetically modified plants were made with the gene gun, a device that shoots DNA-coated metal particles into the seed or plant cutting. Modern genetic engineering uses harmless bacteria or viruses that can be used to modify plants. The desired gene is inserted into a plasmid, or a ring-shaped piece of DNA that a bacterium can pick up and incorporate into its own genome. The microbe then infects a seed, or plant cutting, and inserts the necessary gene into the plant's genome. This process only uses harmless microbes and has never been shown to cause disease. Of course, the plants would be grown and reproduce normally after the first batch. Given that DNA wasn't discovered until 1953, and we're learning more about it every day, GMOs come with all sorts of myths. One famous one is from a redacted study, Seralini and others, saying that GM corn causes tumors in rats. However, the study used rats already prone to tumors, and tumor formation was not dependent on the dose of GM corn given. That and a small sample size of more treated rats than control rats suggests that the tumors were coincidental. Despite being thoroughly debunked by multiple sources, this study is often one of the main sources cited for anti-GMO pieces. This technology shows promise in ending hunger, or bringing diverse crops to previously unfarmable land. If we want to support our 7 billion and growing population in an environmentally sustainable way, genetic engineering will, in the right hands, be an important tool.